The best quality lubricating oil and most trusted in all engine. Pure oil, use in any vehicle. Created the best engine oil in the world.
Visit us at www.goldenpinecorp.com.
Born and raised in Cabadbaran, Agusan del Norte to a landed family. Her great-grandfather was the author of Carabao Logging, where their province was very famous for logging. A consistent honor student since grade school. Had a scholarship in college at a state university in Mindanao but chose to study at Philippine Women's University so that she can join the world-famous the Bayanihan Dance Company of the Philippines. A Dean's Lister in college with bachelor's degree of business administration. A professional Tahitian dancer. Family of doctors, engineers, teachers, psychologists, medtechs, nurses, architects, businessmen, farmers. Commercial model, print ads model, and ramp model in college. Rose to executive level in the corporate world. A social party animal before Christ in her early 20s. A mom of one daughter and grandmother of one grandson. CEO, owner of a 17-year-old BM design furniture company from a humble beginning which started from a small office table at home. Host of Dear Mamou V. Ladies and Gentlemen, Mus Vergi Monte.
Ayan! Good evening mga kaganap at mga kamamo. It's another Sunday evening. Last Sunday, ang naging guest natin ay ang winning glam team, support team ni Queen Rabia Mateo, our first Miss Universe Philippines. So, we are hopeful na in one of our episodes soon, before the Miss Universe pageant, ay maimbitahan naman natin siya dito. Ayan, so we are excited and we're looking forward to that. So, Queen Rabia, si Mamou is inviting you. I've been watching you since the time, even before you were crowned, because you were already my bet. Ayan. Ayan, fun na fun si Mamou kay Queen Rabia. Pinanood ko ang homecoming mo in Iloilo. Okay, what is in store for us tonight? Yung guest natin tonight is peg din nila beauty queen. Itong ating guest, aba mala beauty queen din ng peg. At ang ating letter sender naman ay beauty queen din talaga. Miss Teen Philippines, Texas. So, ayan. Bago ko sila ipakilala, this episode, teka nga pala, aba, naka-11, this is our 11th episode na ng Dear Mamou V. Palakpakan naman natin ang ating mga sarili. Thank you sa ating mga loyal and faithful followers, ating mga viewers. Hari naway, tuloy-tuloy lang tayo. Suportahan niyo si Dear Mamou V. Malapit nang magpapasko. Very exciting. Okay. This episode is about, transition and migration. Kung si Mamou V ay from D, galing probinsya, walang kaalam-alam sa Manila, ang balak lang ay magbakasyon dito, biglang napunta na dito at hanggang ngayon, handito pa rin sa Manila. pauwi-uwi na lang sa probinsya. Itong guest naman natin, from the province, all the way, mas malayo yung kanyang inilipad, all the way to the US of A. So, gusto nating malaman, she's very successful in business, in a lot of things. So, gusto nating malaman, ano ang kanyang sikreto? Ano ang mga challenges niya nung bago siya, nung dumating na siya sa Amerika? Ayan, dito natin ngayon malalaman. Pero bago yan, sandali lang. Pwede bang tignan nyo naman yung nasa likod ko? Teka, hindi tama. O, kaya. Ayan, tignan nyo naman yan. Dear Mamou V jacket na gawa ng isa pang famous international artist. Kaka-feature lang siya sa column ni Mr. John Guarnes sa Abante. Ayan, Miss Eli Kiel. Ayan, ayan Eli. Ay nako, excited akong isusuot na yan. Para kasing maputi kasi, ayoko siyang madunyan. Tama ba naman yun? Okay, sige. Hindi ko na kayo paghihintayin. Nag-warm up lang po tayo, di ba? Kasi last week, hindi tayo nakapag-spin a win. So hopefully, walang glitches ngayon. Pasensya na. For the last 2 weeks kasi, dalawa yung ating typhoon. So yung ating internet, nagkakaroon ng glitches. So, nawawala ako, nawawala si Janay, nagkakawalaan kami even last week pa. So, hopefully this week, everything will turn out okay. So, direct pakilala na natin ang ating guest.
She was born in the Philippines in the farm with no running water and no electricity. Had a chance to come to USA. She worked hard and learned to run a business. She is still learning to this day, investing on herself and her team. She run a production company, lifestyle company and real estate investing. She helped musicians more than just music but life skills, from discipline, best to look on any given time, professionalism and etc. Her company is nationwide, all over USA. They are on the process of opening a company in the Philippines so that they can bring people to USA that can work with them. Please welcome our guest for today, is Ms. Anna.
Hi.
Okay, the bench, that's Hannelore. Hi, Anna.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. You are so beautiful. Ikaw ba sumali din ng beauty pageant?
Not really.
Oo, kasi yung peg mo pang Miss International din eh. Bakit hindi ka sumali?
I'm a bit too short.
Okay, pareho pala tayo. Kulang yung sukat, di ba? Okay. Oo, medyo parang kulang sa akin yung introduction. Before we will go to the letter sender, si Hannelore, how old are you when you left for the States?
19, if I'm not mistaken.
You were 19. Did you go there as an immigrant or did you go there as a tourist?
Immigrant.
Oh, as an immigrant. So you have your family there.
Some, yes.
Okay. So what are the challenges when you arrived? How did you go through the process of being an immigrant, jobless when you arrived, and then how to process yourself to put up your own company, and eventually now you're very successful and you're helping a lot of Filipinos already at this time?
I was actually talking to Romuald about it. First thing I had to learn is I had to learn how America works, the culture, the people, The food. I miss my food. Yes. The first thing that I realized was I had to actually do hard work. A lot of people never really thought about this. When you're new, you will make so much mistakes, and because you're in America, you don't know how it works at first. And one thing that I learned: show up on time, no matter what.
Correct. Okay, it's so interesting. You said that you grew up in the province. Ako, from din ako, pareho lang tayo. But which province are you coming from?
Zamboanga po.
Ay, Zamboanga, Chabacano. But there's Bisaya also. Bisaya,
Opo.
no?
Yeah.
Oh, Bisaya. Bisaya man po. All right. And then, wala tubig? You mean wala tubig? Is
No.
it?
Yeah.
Pero merong, okay, they call it balon. Ano nga ba English niya? Kalimutan ko. Where do you
well po?
Yeah, where do you get water?
Opo. But I remember we actually had to walk about probably 20 to 30 minutes para we can pick up some water.
Oh, okay.
Dala mo yung
jar.
Yes.
Which jar is this? Is this the heavy one that's made of clay para malamig na siya? No need to refrigerate, tama ba?
Yep. We don't have refrigerators, so we actually had to. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's so heavy. I remember when I was growing up, because in the province we go to our farm. Although in our in our house we have water, but when we go to the farm, that's what we have in our house in the farm. May yung jar na water, banga. It's called banga. It's called banga. Yeah, it's called banga. And then you pour the water, and then it stays there for some time, so malamig na siya. So parang na siyang galing ng ref. When you drink it, it's like fresh water na rin. Oh my, ang sarap, ang sarap. Ang sarap to remember and reminisce that, di ba? So, okay. So how was it? How was that feeling when you go to the States? Yung tubig mo, dito na lang sa gripo eh. How was that?
I didn't know how to use it. I had to learn to operate things. I had to learn how to drive.
Yes.
And then drive fast.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Okay. So fast forward. So you learned it the hard way. You made many mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. It's all right, because that's our process of knowing. So alam mo, to me, I remember before, I have my elder sister. Her name is Tessa. Hello, Manang Tita. I call her Manang Tita. I don't know if she's watching. Maybe she will watch. I'll send her this episode. I remember between me and her, she's very conservative, and me, I'm really very audacious. So I would do things aggressively and audaciously, and she doesn't like that, because there are many times when I would fall and I don't succeed. So I would fail, and then she goes, kasi puro ka guts. Yon. You're full of guts. So, and then she goes, you're full of guts? So, full of guts, full of sorry. Ako naman, since ate ko siya, so mas younger ako, sasagot naman ako, full of guts, full of sorry. At least, you're sorry. You know which one to take and which one not to take. Tama ba ako, Anna?
Yeah, pretty much.
So please go ahead, proceed.
Yeah. The thing is, you have to just push. Because if you don't push yourself, and I talk to a lot of people about this, because when you grow as an individual, especially in business, you have to put yourself in a very uncomfortable places, positions in life that you don't want to do. And you know that it could potentially fail anytime. And I like the guts. I did not have the guts, by the way, for a very long time.
How long was that you don't have the guts?
Honestly, I've only been pushed outside of my comfort zone probably in the last about 5 to 6 years. And I've grown as an individual, first as an individual, second as a businesswoman. I was too scared. I was too scared to take chances. I was too scared to fail.
Okay.
It's not easy, but I do like watching people like you. And I look up to a lot of people who are full of guts, full of sorry. And I had to learn to do it. And I had to learn to fail and say sorry.
Correct, correct. You know, there's nothing wrong with failure. If you study all these magnates, all these billionaires, I don't have to name names. They're all of them worldwide, globally, all of them. Read their history. They're all failures. All of it. Yung iba, failure in school, didn't make it. Mga walang diploma. Everyone. I don't have to name names. Ayoko silang i-advertise. Mamou lang ang advertise ko. But you know, everyone failed. What's important is when you fail and after you fail, it's how you stand up again. That's what's important. Hindi ba, Anna?
Yep, I agree. The grit that you're gonna have to have in life is more than you need. And the compassion to yourself, to give grace to yourself, is very important also.
That is so true. Shout out kay Miss Romelet de la Serna, our very famous friend, painter with Mozart. Ayan, kaibigan mo yan. Anna, hi, Romelet.
Hi.
Okay, so how was it? When did you start putting up a business? Did you first you had a job, okay, before you put up a business? When did you start putting up the business?
Well, I have 3. So the first one, which is the production company, which I put my heart and soul into, it's actually more than a 25-year-old business.
Okay.
Yes. And as a family, we were blessed enough to be given the chance to actually take over. And I didn't know any music. I was worried that I don't know how to manage people. And I still had to learn, even to this day, how to communicate to people that you work with, how to tell them that they messed up without hurting their feelings, how to make bold decisions that scares the daylights out of you, of course. And so that's that. The real estate one, I've always been passionate to help people find their homes, whether that's a first home, second home, third home, whatever that is, to build a family, to build memories with family. And as a Filipina, we all know that family is very important.
Yes.
And that started as a passion about 10 years ago, and it blossomed into something that I'm very proud of to be part of, you know. And then also there's a part of me who loves to mentor people, especially our younger generation. I truly believe this, that we, as the, you know, this generation who's running the world right now, we need to teach the wisdom that we've learned right now to the younger generation and make it their own, because the world is not the same. But the wisdom that we have learned is very, very important, because you don't want them to try to figure it out themselves. They already are learning how the world works. They already are learning how to be adults. They already are learning the responsibilities. So giving them or paving them the way is very important to me. And that has started a long time ago. And actually, this pandemic, and I will say this, yes, it is terrible, and we all know that, but it also have given me a chance to figure out what I really want and what makes me happy and what makes me wake up on the day when I don't want to get up. And that right there is leaving something for the next generation, whatever that is. But those three are not just business for me, but it's my life. It's my legacy. So yeah, that's a lot of work.
That is the third company. So the first is the
production company.
Yeah, the music company, and then the other one is the real estate, and then the third one is the mentoring company.
Yep, it's a lifestyle basically, and I call it a lifestyle because when you live life the way you want it to be done, that's a lifestyle. And it's important to, for example, a diet. I don't call, if I'm on a diet, I don't call it a diet. I call it as my lifestyle, because I'm going to do this forever.
Correct. Okay.
And so helping these people, and by the way, young, older, whatever that is that I can help, to just help them out, whatever that I can do, is very important to me. So that's the lifestyle company.
Okay. In these three companies, you have partners.
Yes.
Or you have partners. For the music company, is it your family? Okay. And then for the real estate, it's your own company.
Me and one of my family.
Okay. And then the lifestyle is your company. Okay. Are you married? I'm sorry, we didn't know you're married. How many kids do you have?
None. That's why I'm able to wake up very early.
None yet.
Yes.
But you're still very young. You can still have a baby. Are you aiming for babies? I mean, for kids?
We've talked about it. But right now, the focus is building parts of the business so that if we end up having a family, you want to make sure that you can hand it over to someone and it's not going to fall apart. And also, you have to be a parent, whether you as a mother or as a father or something like that. So, yeah, it's a talk.
Okay, okay. I just asked because you're still very young. Shout out to another BFF, Rhonda Day. Hello, dear, my beautiful friend. Since we're talking about business, I have this person that I am sharing. I've been praying for. She submitted to us her concerns. She put up a business. She put up a business this year and it didn't work. It's failing. Everything went wrong, etc., etc., etc. And she was asking me. People gave her to me because I'm a businesswoman. And she was saying they're struggling, finances are difficult because everything doesn't work. And so in this episode, this is not a business episode, but since we're talking here of a beautiful business, successful businesswoman, let me just share it at this point in time. So when she said, Miss Virgie, can you please minister to me? And I said, yeah, first thing, she goes, should I continue this business? I said, it's really your decision, but first, before you put up the business, I have to ask you, there are many things that you consider before putting up a business. Number one, what is the motive of your putting up a business? That's number one, because that will bring you to many places when you know in your heart that there is a purpose of your putting up a business. Because if you're putting up a business for the purposes of just making money and raking in millions and billions, I said, you are bound to fail.
Yes. Yes.
If it's just all money, you are bound to fail. I assure you, more than 100%, you're bound to fail. So to me, as a business person, I've ministered to many people came to me and asked, and I said, let me just share you my story. I don't have to tell you the other story of the other business people, although I read a lot about all these billionaires. I read about all their histories, and we're similar. Number one, you need to have a heart to put up a business.
Yeah.
If you have a weak heart, you're going to have a heart attack. Yeah. You won't be able to stand against anything and everything, whether it's success and failure. You won't be able to stand against everything of it. So you need to have a heart. Number two, you need to have the passion.
Yes.
You need to have the passion for the business that you're putting up. Why? Because when you're passionate and you love what you do, you don't feel like you're working. You feel like you're just playing because you're having fun. And that's that's a bigger part of it. Number two, you have to have determination. So when things go wrong, you don't just pack up and go and then say, I give up. No, you have to be determined. Why? Because there's so many challenges. There's so many failures before you succeed. Because like you said, even in life, with your lifestyle, you will be, we're like a submarine. Now, we're being guided, when you go here and then the sensor goes, that's not it. So you go left and then you go forward. That's what failure is for. It gives you direction.
Yep.
That's it. Right? Determination and the joy.
Yep.
The joy of failing and the joy of success, because not every day is a success day.
Yep.
And not also every day is a failure day. My business, I'm going 18 years of my business and I'm all alone. It's just me. I started my business in a very small computer table in my bedroom. I closed millions and millions of pesos from that small table. It took me 5 years before I was able to have my own beautiful office and showroom, because I'm into the furniture business. So that's how it is. So guys, sa ating mga viewers dyan, here and abroad, you have to think again. check your heart. What is your motive? So, mamaya uulitin ni Mamou V yan. Pag closing ko yan. So, what is the motive of putting up a business? So, here we have here a beautiful, successful businesswoman, and she knows what she wants. Although you say, Anna, that you made a lot of mistakes, that's okay. That's really okay. It's not something that you should be ashamed of. All right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, nang dahil dyan, itong ating letter sender is another beautiful young teenager. She's so nice and she has a lot of questions to you, Anna. So, Direct Bench, pakilala na natin ang ating letter sender. And thank you so much, Honey Lore, for waking up this early. Alam ko, maaga dyan sa Amerika, di ba? Sa amin dito, early evening lang eh. So, Direct Bench. Masarap pag-usapan ng negosyo, di ba, Anna?
I love it. I love it.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, good morning, Anna.
Hi,
Okay.
Anna.
Okay, when we are into this kind of live show, may mga glitches tayo. The internet has been intermittent since today, itong maghapon na to, because of the typhoon that we just had, itong si Typhoon Ulysses. Last week, we had Rolly, and now ito si Ulysses naman. So we're just praying na if there are other typhoons, it won't be as devastating as these two na dumaan. So, Honey Lore, let me just introduce to you, Honey Lore. Kunin ko lang yung antipara ko, ha? Babasahin ko so that people, so people will know who Honey Lore is. You're such a beautiful, beautiful teenager.
Thank
But
you.
you are a teenager, but it seemed to me like you're such a mature young woman. Well, wait a minute.
I have my mom to thank for that.
Oh, yes, of course. Do you know that when I see somebody who is very admirable, I would always ask for their parents. And usually it would be, ayan. So Honey Lore is 18 years old. Ayan na. Freshman in college and plans to pursue a career in medical field. So what kind of medical practice do you want? She loves art, and she sold her first painting when she was only 6 years old. Wow! She has a passion in music. She's a pianist. She has performed major fundraiser events and musical scholar of Philippine Choral Ensemble at San Antonio Foundation. And she's also the Junior Miss Teen Philippines, Texas 2013. Welcome, Honey Lore.
Thank you. Good. Hi.
Okay. So you can shoot your questions now to our equally beautiful guest, Anna.
We are all beautiful here.
Yes, I think so too.
All right. So I am very curious because you have a very inspirational story. I'd like to start with the advice type of questions. When you felt stuck and didn't know how to progress, when you were on your journey to success, how did you overcome these things?
Just do it.
Just close your eyes.
There's no fancy way of saying anything. Just do it. I talk to a lot of people, especially my inner circle people. I talk to them about that because we all have those moments. And if we allow that portion to just guide us, we won't go anywhere. For me, I use the example of me working out. I work out about 5 to 6 times a week, every morning. That's the only way for me to wake up. I don't drink coffee. I drink my water every morning to wake me up and all of these things. And I will say this, believe it or not, it's been years and years and years and years of me doing it. Yesterday, I woke up, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it.
Yes.
But I did it anyway. I did it anyway. And also, believe it or not, you don't like it at first. But after a couple of minutes, when you start sweating or all of that, when it comes to workout, obviously, you're like, oh, actually, I feel good. And then just keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. So there's no fancy way of doing it. Just say, do it.
Okay.
Close your eyes and do it.
Yep.
Okay. Are you satisfied with that, Hannah?
Yes,
Lord?
definitely.
Okay.
It's just as simple as you just gotta pray.
Yep.
Exactly. You just have to do it, because if you don't do it, you would know how it's gonna be. Right?
And no one is gonna do it for you.
That's for sure.
There's no, for lack of a better word, knight in shining armor that's going to do it for you. You're doing it. So you might as well do it now, because if you're going to wait tomorrow, you're going to have other things that you're going to have to do. Now
you're going to keep waiting tomorrow.
Yep. Okay, let me just share you one thing with regards to this lockdown. Because of the lockdown, I don't have any staff. I don't have anyone. And I have shares that are on sale. So every time I have a bulk sale, I would have my team to come to our storage in another house in Parañaque, and they would go there and they would assemble like 100 pieces, and we will store it there. But for many times there would be some sale that is only like 1 or 2 or 3. And I would pick it up from my showroom, because I have some stocks in my showroom. And some of them, a lot of them are not assembled. So what do? I don't have anyone. So I don't have somebody. I can't call in my team, because it's just 1 or 2 pieces. It's very, very expensive for them to come here, because they would drive all the way, spend gasoline and all these toll fees. So what do? I go down to my parking lot where I put it in my car. You know, my car is full of stuff. So, and then I would go and assemble it myself. You know what? I own my business. I own my business. I am the president. I am the CEO. I am the chairman. I am everything. But I'm also an installer. I'm also an assembler. I'm also a driver. So I would go there and, assemble it one by one. And it's just me and myself. So I would do that every now and then. And one day, I was finished and I was packing. I placed it in the elevator. And you know what? The elevator operator couldn't help it. She goes, Ma'am VM, good afternoon. And I said, oh, hi. Ma'am VM, we've been watching you, because we have CCTV all over the building. We've been watching you. You are our idol. You've been working so hard, all alone. You do this, you do that. You do the howling, you do the assembly, you do the dismantling and everything. So I am just sharing this because there are some or many of our viewers. Let me tell you something. You want to be successful, you have to start from the bottom. And even you have to know how to do things. Because you cannot reach the top if you don't know how to climb from the bottom. So when you want to be a businesswoman, you have to know the business inside out, upside down, everything. Right? All right. Honey Lord, would you like to be a businessman? Okay. What's your next question?
My next question is, what is one of the biggest lessons you learned in your journey that will help some of our young viewers that have big dreams?
Ooh. That's heavy. That's very heavy. there's a lot of lessons in life that we learn. And for me, for the business, for example, and for myself too, I always believe this. Don't let your current situation stop you from achieving your goal in life. There's a lot of people out there that I do know that they don't know where to start. They're scared. Many reasoning. They want it to be perfect. They're scared to take the big steps. They got procrastination, and I think procrastination is the huge one on a lot of us.
Yes.
They have expectations that this is supposed to be this is supposed to be that, and everything. And then there's the biggest one. It's the distraction. When you combine all of it, you will end up just not being able to do anything. So one thing I learned as an individual is I learned to find people that I want to look up to. And to this day, I have people that I would reach out to. And by the way, some of them are huge, successful people that I don't even know if they're getting my emails. But not long ago in this pandemic, I found someone. I would never thought that I get to talk to this individual, for example. And because I looked up to this individual, I'm just like, oh my God, this is awesome. Like, I gotta send her a message, and everything. And well, she turned out to be a really cool, awesome person, and I'm learning from her. Then there are times also where, especially as people, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to look up to that person because, oh, maybe that person like don't really vibe with you. Maybe talk too much, maybe a little bit rough around the edge, whatever that is. But if you really take all of that down and say, but wait, that's the business that I want to actually go in, whatever that is, real estate, production, with you, Hannelore, medical field. And if you let that stop you, you're going to miss out. And I call it gold. When I listen to these people, I literally have notes after notes after notes after notes. And I work with this amazing individual in my office. And when I hear these things, I'm like, that is gold. That is awesome right there. Start jotting down, start typing down. And then one more thing. Don't stop learning. The world is evolving. The world will keep going. The things that you've learned 20 years ago or 10 years ago or 5 years ago. Oh, sorry, I got distracted.
Right. I'm sorry.
Yes. So you have to keep learning. You can't expect that the things that you learned 5 years ago will work this time in 2020. 2020 have opened my eyes into things that I'm just like, oh my God, I don't even know what I'm doing. So I'm doubling down on learning. So that's really very important to me. And I welcome uncomfortable situations. I know a lot of us as people, we don't want to because we're scared or whatever that is. But for me, I learned to welcome it. And I would say this, in the last almost 5 years of my life now, there are many times where I would say this, I'm like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? But I do it anyway. I do it anyway. So if I'm gone now, I would say this to the people that I am blessed enough to work with, talk to, a mentor, all of these things. I would say this: don't let your current situation stop you from achieving what you want.
Correct.
And there are many.
That's true. That's true. As for me, as a business person, or even if you're not a business person, you're a student or what have you, to me, your biggest thing to conquer and your biggest enemy is yourself.
Yes.
You have to always outdo yourself. To me, my competition is not somebody else, not my neighbor, not my friend, not somebody else, but myself. I always compete with my last achievement, because if we do that, then there is always refining moment in your life. There is always this thing about getting into the next step of perfection. So that's my take on your questions. When you struggle, when you have to overcome, you need to overcome yourself all the time, right?
Yes, and I am still learning to do that, but
Yeah.
I will.
I am enjoying this because we have an 18-year-old whose questions are, oh my gosh.
You guys have good questions.
Right?
I intend to learn from this.
Okay, good, great. Okay, and your last question, Honey Lord.
All right. What do you have a philosophy or quote that influences your day-to-day life, or that you live by, that helps you?
Yeah, a lot. Depends on my mood that day. But I have kept quite a few of them actually in my iPad and my computer, laptop, or my phone. And where's my phone? It's somewhere. Oh, there it is. So there's a portion on my phone here that I have kept in the front. You guys like the screensaver, and there's that. And then there are there's one in there that I actually say, today is going to be a good day. That right there resonate with me so much, because when you wake up and you decide that today is going to be a good day, I don't know if you guys are familiar or do manifestations.
Yes.
When I manifest that to myself, the first thing I say is, today is going to be a good day. And I am grateful for what I have and what I am going to achieve. It basically sets my mindset into no matter what. And trust me when I say this, there's never been a day in my life that I'm happy the whole entire time. There's always something. There's always something that's going to piss me off, throw me off the wall, because I'm like, what the heck just happened? Or makes me sad. There's always something. But if I point blank look straight on that, today is a good day for me, and I am grateful for the things that I already have and what I'm going to have, nothing else matters. There's going to be turbulences in life. There's going to be loads and loads of things that you're not going to be happy. You're going to question yourself. And I'm kind of familiar with the medical field, by the way. I know that's not an easy school. Learning the body parts to learning to have compassion. And I know quite a bit of folks that are working 10, 12, 14 hours a day. It's before pandemic. And then pandemic came along. It's going to be rough. And I've said this one before, not long ago, to one particular person. I say this: there was one thing or two things that I can guarantee to you. You're going to fail, period. And people are going to say no. Mm-hmm. They say no for many reasons. They might not understand what you're doing. They might not, they might not know, whatever that is. But if you say today is going to be a good day, you will find those people that you can call yourself tribe with. And no matter what, you're going to hone in energy from them and figure out how to get it. You're just willing you have to be willing to work for it, though. Work for it to actually make the day a good day. And it's not easy. Never will be easy too. But that's a challenge. And that's the uncomfortable portion of our lives. And it's okay.
Exactly.
Because the glory that you're gonna have, how do I say this? The blessings that you're gonna get from all of that is going to make you more proud than ever as a person. So yes. And I got a lot more, by the way. I could share it with you guys.
Yeah. My planner has just quotes and quotes in it to help me keep going.
Me too.
That's good. So now, Hannelore, you've been asking us questions. So can we ask you questions also?
Of course.
Okay, I'll give it to Miss Anna here to ask you the first question.
Yes. How did you choose medical field?
If I'm being honest with you, I am still torn between fields right now because I'm very passionate about the medical field, particularly with children and babies, which is why I hope to become an obstetrician if I do pursue the medical field.
Oh.
Yeah. So I want to be a person that is able to give them a chance in life. So.
That's wonderful. You know, Hannelore, I come from a family of doctors. My brother is a doctor. My cousins are doctors. My brother's children are also doctors. And my younger sister's daughter just graduated from medicine this year. So she's going to go into internship.
That's awesome.
But me, no medical practice. I can't even watch this movies or teleseries about medicine because I'm so scared of the blood and some procedures. No way, not for me. Let's just go back to business, okay?
Just keep yourself in your happy little bubble.
Yep.
Yes, I have my own happy little bubble. Okay, my question to you, Hannelore, what made you decide to join the beauty contest?
Actually, it happened so fast. Somebody came to me with the idea and I was just kind of like, oh yes, yeah, I'd like to do it. And about 2 weeks or 2 months later, everything started happening. We started having practices, the pressure came, and at some points I even wanted to back out because I was like, I can't do this. I have never done this before. But I did it. It was terrifying, but here I am, still alive.
Good job.
Good job. Okay, let me tell you something. We in our show we have what's this? Spin a win. Okay, we ask questions to our viewers and then they will answer. I'd like you to welcome my co-host John.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Mamou V. I'm sorry I'm on the road right now. So I told Mamou V I won't show up anymore.
No, you cannot not show up.
Yeah,
No
I
excuses.
just came from Tagaytay.
Okay. So how's the traffic going there from there?
It's okay. So traffic in Santa Rosa.
Were you watching us on the road?
Yeah, I've been watching. And I don't want to join anymore because I'm not dressed up and I'm not, I feel like I don't belong to these beautiful people. They're all dressed up.
You're beautiful.
Oh my God, of course not. Anna and Honey Lord, Mr. John Guarnes is a famous global iconic fashion designer.
Oh.
So, magaling magbihis.
Hello.
Oo, magaling magbihis at nagbibihis ng mga magagandang tao. At saka kaya gusto niya bihis din siya. Di ba, Ale, gwapo ka pa naman. So, okay lang yan. Di ba? Join the fun because
Okay.
Did you have questions
Yes.
from both of them, John?
Yeah, because they're like Miss Anna, she's a businesswoman, and I just wonder how you're coping up now with the situation, like with our current situation of the pandemic. So how are you coping up with this?
Day by day.
Exactly. I love the answer, very short and pang beauty queen.
Exactly.
It's not easy. Well, I can jot down things that I have to do for me to have the push. But again, I would go back to the first few minutes we've talked, Mamou V. When you said you have to have the heart, for me personally, I would say this, because I want to do it. I don't want to fail. There's a lot of people that are relying on me. We had to pivot. All of our businesses had to pivot as a family. But the good thing about it is, for a very long time as a family, we were all rushing, doing things. And I call it, by the way, just patching things up. You know what I mean? Because you're so busy, you don't have time. But this time, you literally have time to plan from top to bottom or from bottom to top. And a friend of mine not long ago, we were messaging back and forth. And the one thing that this person have said to me is, double down my learning. And in this pandemic, I have spent, actually a month ago, I spent a 2-week immersive business leadership online learning live from a specific individual. And then I went 3 days, I think it was like 10 days after that, 3 days of 10 to 12 hours of immersive learning again. And in about a month from now, I can either fly to Florida, which is my second home, and go to their office and learn from their perspective and basically guide me from here's the marketing, here's the sales, or whatever that I need for my business. Or I can do it online again. So yeah, I'm doubling down my learning. I'm doubling down my wanting to how to do this business properly. Because I mean, Mamou, you know, when you've been doing this business for a very long time, sometimes you lose track of the fundamentals of the business. And when you do lose track because you're so busy, you're making money or whatever the reasoning is, the business will keep going. But like you said, Mamou, it could be potentially be a submarine. And if you're not careful, you're going to end up running smack into something that you don't want to.
Correct. That's
and
right.
so, again, I am very much aware that the pandemic have pretty much destroyed a lot of businesses, families, people, all of that. And I do know some people that are badly, badly affected on it.
Right. Right.
But for me, I'm going to do it. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do all the things I want to do. Because I told one of my colleagues, literally last night, I said, when this comes back, which is our industry, I'm hoping that if it comes back with vengeance, I know what I'm doing this time.
You are learning the curve. That's what you call it. Yes. Yes. And I have a question for Honey Lore.
Yeah.
What are the things you're learning from us right now in this show?
I am learning so much. For example, the lifestyle, to just be able to, for somebody who has so much experience in life and who's already gone through it, to just tell me like, it's not that complicated. Just do it. That's definitely going to get me through a lot, because right now I'm in an exploration phase in my life where I need to really figure out what I do want. And it's only between two things now. And another thing is to manifest, to tell myself and just kind of make it the way I want it to be instead of expect it to come to me through someone else or some other source, because if I don't do it, no one will do it for me. Exactly. And then the whole procrastination thing, to keep myself going and just allow myself to move forward, even if it's like, even if I'm just kind of dragging my feet. Progress is progress. Yes.
You are such a very receptive, intelligent, brilliant 18-year-old. No wonder you got the crown, my dear.
Yeah.
And you're gonna go places. Oh my gosh, I'm so blessed with the both of you. Any more questions, John?
Yeah, I have questions for this young lady. Like, do you have any business in mind that you know you're thinking about that you're gonna put up in the future as early as now? You know.
So actually, I've never really looked into it, but I definitely want to be a leader eventually. When I have more experience in life and after I pursue whatever it is I'm going to pursue, graduate college, serve a few years in that field, I did intend to open a law firm and become a lawyer at one point, because I'm torn between the medical field and law right now. Ooh. Because I just want to catch the bad guys, kind of. And yeah.
So you can work like in a corporate as a corporate lawyer if in case that you want and pursue your law degree, right?
Yes.
But if you want to catch criminals, you have to be a criminal lawyer.
Yes.
And
But
that
there's
takes
a lot of
a lot.
criminal in the corporate.
I know. That takes a lot of guts and a
There's
lot of
a lot of
courage.
corruption in the government.
I know, right? Oh my goodness. So that's wonderful. Direct bench, are you is it okay if we can you tell us if it's okay to have the spin win direct bench? Because we're gonna start asking questions. And then last week we have 3 questions that we have stalled. So pwede pa ba nating isali yun? Please let us know, direct bench. Tayo naririnig ni direct bench. Alam ko,
Let's spin a win.
let's
Mamou,
I-
so while we're waiting for direct, diba? So
let's have the
we would like, yeah, draw questions. I want to ask you, Mamou. And now we can ask Mamou, Miss Anna and Miss Hannah. Anna and Hannah. What a beautiful name.
Okay.
Now I want you to ask questions, Mamou. It's about time for you to ask questions. Do you have any questions for her? You know, this is what we used to do in the show. We also want to throw questions to the host.
Hindi I can't get away from it. They have to ask questions. So, okay, shoot the question. Let me see if I can, who wants to ask the questions first?
Hannelore, you can start.
Yes. Let's see. I'll make a question. For your first step, because I'm sure the first step is one of the biggest steps to overcome and try to take, what is something that you were able to tell yourself or something that helped push you towards that first step?
Okay, I have 2 phases in my life, the pre-Christ and the after Christ, because now that I have renewed my faith to our Lord Jesus, my life has changed, and everything, all decisions that I make, I do pray a lot. So before I make decisions, when I wake up in the morning, I pray. When I go before going to bed, I pray. So everything is done into a lot of prayers. So I ask God if I want to do something, I pray about it, and I wait. Okay, there are 3 things about prayers. Prayer is talking to God, right? When we pray, we talk to God. That means we blubber to God. We ask God so many things and all that stuff. But when we listen, when we read our Bible, that is when we listen from God, because He gives us instructions through the Bible. So I pray a lot, and when I want to do something, I lodge it to Him, I submit it to Him, and then wait if it's go or no go. There are 3 answers to our prayers. Number 1, it's a yes, then it's a yes. So when you say, Lord, should I get ahead with this business? When the Lord says, yes, go ahead. Okay, then I go ahead. And then there's the second answer, which is no. So when it's no, there are no open doors. And then the most difficult of the prayer is wait. So when you wait, and when we wait, hanggang kailan? Is it years, months, days? We really don't know. I have prayed for many years. There are many prayers that I have that were answered in 5 years, in 10 years, in 2 months, in 10 months. Different prayers, big or small. So that's how dependent I am in the go signal of the Lord. How do I know that it is a go signal? Okay, Honey Laura, you will ask me, okay, Mamou V, how do you know that it's yes? Okay, first, how do you know that it's no? It's no because there are no open doors. Wale, there's nowhere to go forward. How do you know that it's a yes? It's a yes because there is an open door. And then it is smooth. Everything goes smoothly. Everything turns out to be cooperative, and it just falls on your lap. And then how do you know that you have to wait? Okay, which is the most difficult. You know that there's a waiting time when it's a no and it's not a yes. It's not a no and it's not a yes. You have no, the answer is not no and it's not yes. So you just have to wait. Because when you wait, in his time, it will fall on its place. I've done many mistakes. I've made many mistakes, just like Anna. I went before God. So ayon, when I did that, I wanted this. My motive is this. So I thought there are open doors. I lost. And I lost, I failed, and I lost a lot of millions because I invested on something. That I thought my go signal. Yun pala, wale. So I lost. So lessons learned, when there is waiting time, ay maghintay ka na lang talaga kasi. Whether it's going to be years and years and years, I will not get into something when there is no clear path that you go ahead. Did you get that, Honey Lord?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, okay.
Now it's Anna's turn to ask the question.
Yeah. So of course, this is a show, this is an entertainment, this is the world that I live in with you, Mamou V. And right now we are on the process of opening the business in the Philippines to possibly bring some amazing, talented people here in America. How did you start? How whether that's the technical stuff in the Philippines to open the business, or also, how did you decide that this is what you're going to do?
It is very funny. Okay, again, let's go back to if my faith is not very strong, I will just make decisions and I will just say, let's do this, I have the money, we have the funds, let's just do this. And if it doesn't work, it's okay, we still fund it, all that stuff. But now, in my faith, I would say, this is what we want. So we identify our heart, our motives, our determination, etc., etc. And if there are open doors, fine. Then we can start it. You will know that there are open doors because things will just open up. People will just come in. When I opened my business, this business that I have right now, I never wanted this. I didn't want furniture. I wanted something else. I wanted something else because furniture is very detailed. It's so complicated. My business is to furnish, to put out fit outs. I do condominiums, I do all the joineries. That's very detailed. It's very difficult. I never wanted this. And then the furniture, I import all the furnitures because I would furnish floors and floors and thousands of square meters of offices. Like I have 2 or 3 floors. And can you just imagine how many pieces of furniture does it have? So per piece, per table, per cabinets, there's the sizes, there's the thickness. It's so complicated. I never wanted it. But God opened the door for it. It's so funny. I said, I don't want the furniture business. Do you know what happened? Somebody called me up and said, Miss Virgie, we want this, we get blah, blah, blah. And they wanted chairs. And I said, I'm not in the business anymore. I'm closing the shop. I'm closing that item. I don't want it. And I said, please, can you just consider us? And I said, how much? How many chairs? And that's a huge order, so many hundreds of chairs. And I said, let me think about it. And I said, let me pray about it. Okay, you can pray, but can you, maybe you can pray for 1 or 2 days because we're in a hurry. And so I said, okay. I said, Lord, if this is the business that you have for me, then open it wide. I said, I will give them conditions. If they say yes to all my difficult conditions, then this business you are going to open for me. Because the minute I will accept this order, it's going to be a lot of millions. And my warranty for the chairs is at least 1 year. At least 1 year. So I cannot just sell and close my shop. No, I have to be active. I have to be there for the client for at least a year. And so the following day, I said, okay, I'm going to take the order provided you pay me 75%, which is impossible. Nobody pays someone, a supplier, 75%. I said, pay me 75%, and then this is my condition, this is my condition. And then they said, okay, can we get back to you in an hour? I said, okay. And they said, everything is yes. So that was, you know, that was an answered prayer. It was a difficult condition. Those are difficult conditions, but it was all given to me. So that means God has opened the door wide for me to enter. And so I said, no matter how difficult this business is, Lord, if this is coming from you, you're going to be with me. You will never leave me nor forsake me. You will always be with me. And for the last 17 years, God has been with me through difficult and hard times and through plenty and happy times. Honey, Lord? Yeah.
That's important.
You, Anna?
Yeah, that's very important right there.
Now it's my question.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the color
Now
of
it's my turn.
Okay, go, John.
It's my turn to ask Mamou. Mamou,
Okay.
do you believe in the principles of tithing, especially if you're in the business?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It is biblical. Tithing is biblical. The Lord said that He owns everything in this world. Whatever we have, God owns it. Just 1 minute. It's my dog. Let me just get my dog. Hey. Come on. Yes.
We have another guest.
We have another.
Yes.
It's the pop.
A beautiful one.
I want you to meet Birkin. He's my baby fur.
Birkin.
So, you know, it's biblical. It is in Malachi that says, I own everything. When do we rob you, Lord? And it says, you rob me if you don't give your tithe to me. And normally the tithe is 1/10 of our finances. And like I said, the Lord owns everything. The Lord owns our life, everything in this world. So we're only asked to give 10%. And the good news is, so far I've been giving my tithe, whether it's big or small. If the business is okay, then my tithe is big. If it's low, then it's low. It depends. So I give the full 10% of my tithe, because the Lord says, test me on this, if I will not open your floodgates of heaven. And it's you know, that word has been alive in my life and in my business.
That's awesome.
That's great. So I'm here. I'm home. So I'll just close my.
Okay, and we'll just go for the spin a win, John. Direct bench.
Okay.
Are we okay? Are we okay for the spin a win? Direct bench.
Yes. Yes, I think we're okay.
Okay, so can we go ahead just in for the last week's three questions?
Yes,
Or,
yes, yeah.
okay. So
Maybe,
in the meantime,
or maybe we can ask a new question.
okay, new question. Would you like, Anna, would you like to ask the first question? Normally, we ask our viewers the questions that we have talked about earlier in the show.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, and before that, Ma'am, I would just like to share this video because we just want to thank all the supporters in our YouTube channel. So I just want to flex this video first,
Okay.
yeah, before we proceed.
Ganap TV Online would like to thank the following super chatters and new members.
So there you go. We have from Hong Kong. We have from US. So thank you so much for the support. There you go. Thank you so much, everyone, for the support.
Wow, thank you so much.
Yeah. And congratulations, Miss Anna, and of course, Hannelore, for you inspired a lot, and keep on doing the good things, especially keep on sharing your blessings, and I know that God will bless you more.
Thank you.
Right. Yes, yes. Okay, so let's throw the first question from Miss Anna. Anna?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Would you like to give the first question to our viewers?
I will give a question to our viewers.
Yes, yes. For our spin-a-win.
Okay.
Yeah. And they will win a load, electronic load. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. That's good.
That's awesome. Yes.
Yeah.
So how are you coping, or what are you doing to make sure that you will stay on your vision, especially in this pandemic?
Okay. Do you want them to answer that with what you have given them, what you have given us as your answer? Or, okay, why don't we give them a question that's easy?
Okay. Easy.
For this spin-a-win.
Yeah.
So,
make it harder. Sorry. I like to make it harder.
Challenge.
Yes. So, well, I'm actually going to throw this one back. The first question of Hannelore. You said when you feel stuck, how did you overcome it, or something like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that was the okay. Your answer to that question. Correct. Yep. Okay. Mga kamamo, mga kaganap, the question is, ano yung sagot ni Miss Anna doon sa first question ng ating letter sender na si Hannelore, kung how does she cope up? Kasi nagbigay siya ng napakaiksing sagot lang. So, mga kaganap, mga kamamo, all you have to do is type hashtag and then yung sagot ng kanyang question. Madali lang yon. Actually, madali lang. Kasi nanood naman kayo, di ba? Makulit si Perkin. Hello, Perkin. Say hello to everyone, Perkin.
Perkin is beautiful.
It's so cute. So, next question. Can you give it out, Hannelore? Make it easy for our viewers. Para manalo naman sila. Because, okay. Natawa si Anna. Ano, this is a win, and then we give out ELOAD to the winners. So we want them to win. Okay, so Honey Lord, throw the questions, please, dear.
Let's see. Do you have anything? Do you have anything in your day-to-day basis that keeps you productive, so that you keep moving forward?
Okay, parang mahirap yon. Teka, subukan natin. Baka magreklamo yun. Mga viewers na sabihin na, mahirap yan, Mamou, ah. Okay. Would you like to reconsider your question? Just sample. My sample question is, anong kulay?
Just a bonus question. Bonus question.
Bonus question, like, what's the color of my top? What's the color of my signature flower? Yung mga ganon. That's something like that, Honey Lord.
What's your dream? Your goal in life. Your goal in life. What is something you need to do before you go join God?
Oh, my dream. Okay. Okay. That's a question that I will add. That's a question that I will answer. Oh, sige. My dream was to become a billionaire. Okay. Ayan ha, mga kamamo, alam nyo na. Oh, sagot na. Type na. Hashtag, anong sagot ni Mamou? Okay. And the last question for our ELOAD is, bago ako magtatanong, sandali lang, ayusin ko lang, ipapakita ko lang. I'd like to thank my sponsor for my outfit, my BFF from UK, Miss Mila Tucker. Ayan, siya yung sponsor ng outfit ko. And I forgot also to thank her last week. Siya din yung sponsor ng outfit ko last week. So, thank you so much, Miss Mila Tucker, my BFF in UK. Ayan, my dear BFF Mila, shout out sa'yo. I don't know if you're watching. I hope you're watching, but definitely you will watch it, this episode sa YouTube. So you will see and you will hear and you will find out that I'm thanking you for sponsoring my outfit. Ayan, galing pa ng UK lahat ito. Okay, so my question is, sino ang guest natin tonight? Kailangan full name ha, mga kamamo, mga kaganap. At dalawa ang isasagot ninyo sa isang question ko. Sino? Who is our guest tonight? Full name and then our letter sender. So hashtag name of our guest and then slash name of our letter sender. Ayan, bonus na yan ha. Ayan, full name kung po pwede lang. Ngayon kung hindi, direct bench, baka mahirapan sila pag full name, no? First name na lang.
Oo. Ito na lang.
Bonus
Ito
name.
lang. I'll just ask them a question. So, what is the name of Mamou's dog? Ayan na.
Yes.
Diba?
Ayan. Anong,
So, it's a bonus question.
bonus question yan. Ano, pang-apat yan, direct bench, no?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what's the name of my baby fur? I already said, we mentioned it kanina, nasabi ko. Oh, ayan na. Type na. Go na. Para manalo na.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, do you have any questions for our guest and our letter sender, direct bench?
I'm just amazed with them because just like Hannah Lord, she is an achiever for a very young age, and of course Miss Anna, I'm really flattered and because I'm also a provinciano and sobrang nakaka-relate ako sa what you've been through, and especially you are in the US, so it's a kind of ang dami mong pinagdaanan for sure. So I just have one question for you, Miss Anna.
Yes.
do you think do you experience like do you have any experience like you've been through a challenge that you almost give up?
A lot.
Mm-hmm.
um, yes, a lot. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Going back to business, there are many moments that makes me not want to do it. But
Mm-hmm.
I would say this: there's also one thing. You can strip everything that I said all night, all day, or all night today. There's
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I've done in my life for a very long time now is visualizing whatever that is. If it's my business, it could be very material.
Mm-hmm.
If it's spiritual, I visualize myself going to church. Because there are moments where I don't want to go to church, to be honest with you.
Me too.
Yes. So, yeah, there are many moments. But I would say this, that when I'm visualizing my goal, for example, in my business, I would visualize who the people that I am working with, my office, um, what I am working on, where I'm walking, all of that. Again, back to manifestation. And then also just do it. It is really that simple. Because when you open a business or when you run a business,
Mm-hmm.
like Mamou said, it's never easy.
Yeah,
It's not,
exactly.
yeah. And I have a family member that we used to say this. It's not always rainbows and unicorns.
Mm-hmm.
True.
And I just had to look at this particular thing that makes me want to give up here. And then right here is the thing that will push me, whether that's visualization of what I want, or here on this side, because I'm going to sandwich this right here into what I am going to do so that
Mm-hmm.
I can get over of this thing that makes me want to give up. So
Right.
Okay.
yeah,
Yes.
I can name a bunch of things, but we can do that next time.
Okay. Me, Bench, I want to answer your question.
Yeah, yeah.
As a human being, there's so many things in our lives wherein we want to give up. Actually, when you're a student, when you're growing up, there's so many things where you want to give up. But as an adult, and now that I know better, when there are days when I don't want to go get up from my bed, I just stay on my bed. It's very, I mean, my practical take on that is I stay on my bed, and if I don't feel like getting up, if I don't have an appointment, then I don't have an appointment. But if I do have an appointment, you just have to give up. You just have to get up and go to your meeting. But if there's none, it's fine. And then
Mm-hmm.
I read my Bible, I talk to God, and I'll just say, God, tinatamad ako, wala ako sa mood. You know, God is a permissive God. God is such a gentleman. He will never make you do things forcefully. He is a gentleman. We were given choices. It's our choice. If you choose not to work, it's up to you. If you choose not to honor your commitment, it's up to you. If you choose to be hardworking, it's up to you. It's sowing and reaping. At the end of the day, there are consequences to your choices. See, God is a very magnificent God. He knows what he's doing. So we're given choices, and in each choice that we make, there is a consequence. There is a harvest. So when you choose good, you harvest better. Kasi hindi ba, pag nagtanim ka, isang buto is just like a tomato. You have one seed, you sow it in the ground, and then the tomato will grow. And the tomato tree, when it grows, it has many, many, many tomatoes. It bears fruit. And one tomato, when you open one tomato, there are so many seeds again. So can you imagine there are so many tomatoes there? Then that is your harvest. So when you plant something good, you harvest plenty.
You will harvest. Yeah.
You harvest plenty. And when you plant something bad, then you harvest bad. That's just it. To me, that's just it. So when I don't feel like doing good, I'd say, I don't feel like doing good, but the consequences is not also good. So I'd rather do something best, because my best will be multiplied to 100. Thank you, Benj.
Wow, that was really a great answer. Pang-beautiful. Yeah. You know, Miss Anna, just like what I said, you look like Miss Rufa Gutierrez. You are so beautiful inside and out. You know.
Ooh, I gotta Google her.
Okay, so
She is.
yeah. So I think we can now proceed with the spin a wheel.
Let's spin away. Okay.
Yeah. So baka may gusto pang humabol. So you just need to answer the 4 questions.
Okay, mga kabamo. Sa ano na, type na kayo. And
sayang load. Oo. Diba?
Sayang ang load. Alam mo naman, pwede na yung mga pang 1 week or pang 1 week and a half na unli internet, unli lahat, unli text, unli call. So ayan. So go na, type na. So mga kamamo, mga kaganap, go. And ayan, marami tayong, kasi Anna, we do this every show, every Sunday. So meron tayong paroleta. And then, because by December, Dear Mamou will be giving away paraffle na mga major prizes. Last time that we had Romilet de la Serna as our guest, she gave away one of her paintings. So may nanalo na. So we wanna say thank you again to Romilet. Thank you, Romilet. Thank you. We love you. Dear Mamou loves you mucho. Ayan. Ayan, may mga...
Actually, they joined, Mamou actually they joined the raffle. They answered the question. So maybe they wanted to share the e-load just in case they won. Diba?
Okay. For those na nasa outside of Manila, if you give an e-load, you can give it to your family members here in the Philippines. So, ipamigay nyo na. Okay.
Okay, so right now we have 5 participants. So baka may gusto pong humabol.
Meron kang gusto humabol. So we have 4 questions. So, you wanna ask questions sa ating letter sender? Nakakatuwa ito si Hanilor, no? Hanilor, excuse me. Maybe one day you can be our guest also. We'll just we'll figure out the date.
Yeah, and maybe you can give us. Yeah, maybe you can give us a sample, like doing the piano, playing the piano. I mean,
of course.
Yeah.
Or you can give us a sample of your walk tonight. Your winning walk.
I hope I can still walk.
Kasi kahapon pinanood ko si Queen Rabia na umuwi sa Iloilo, yung homecoming niya. Fun ako, di ba? My daughter goes, "Mommy, what's that? What are you doing?" I said, "I'm a fan of Queen Rabia. What's wrong with that? I like her." And so pinanonood ko siya. So alam mo ba, Bench, kung anong pangalan ng ng walk niya that she won? Alam mo anong gusto mo yung pangalan?
I think ano yata, parang Guapo Walk, tama ba? Or
No,
Agus
hindi.
Walk?
No,
Ay,
hindi. She wants to promote Iloilo. So ang gusto niyang pangalan ng walk niya is Halabira.
Ay,
Di ba?
it's, Halabira is positive naman siya, right?
Yeah. Halabira is it's a festival where Iloilo is very famous for.
Okay, it's like, you know.
Di ba, Halabira? Pero,
Sa akin, parang it's kinda, you know, parang not so catchy word.
no, mahirap sa foreigners. Mahirap sa... Oo, mahirap. Kasi mahirapan silang mag-pronounce. Oo. Kasi 2 words eh. So, dapat isa lang. So, pwedeng, di ba, pwedeng bira or ariba. Di ba, maganda yung ariba?
Halabira, it means parang go lang, parang tama ba?
Oo, halabira. Go ng go.
Go ng
Just
go.
press on. That means press on.
Oh, I see. Okay, so I think we can proceed with the spin wheel.
Okay.
So I'm gonna share the screen. So let's do the raffle. Diba ang saya? Oh. I miss this actually, you know, spinning the wheel. So,
Romilet, is Rhonda with us?
Let's do the raffle.
Ayan na. Yay!
Hey!
It's Rhonda!
Miss Rhonda,
Congratulations, Rhonda! Ayan, Rhonda, you have to give us a local scene.
Yeah. So, let's proceed. So, remove na natin si Miss Rhonda.
Oo.
Malaki ng chance na manatira.
Ang daming chance. Malaki yung chance.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's do the raffle.
Yay!
Cathy, congratulations.
Cathy, congratulations! Ang mga phone, ang mga mobile numbers, please give to Direct Bench.
Yeah, just message our fan page.
Yes, please.
Just give us the mobile number.
Ayan na, 4 na lang silang natira. Let's do the raffle.
So how many
3 na lang.
3 na lang. So just one more?
Ilan pa?
Okay.
Ilan pa sila? One more?
Yeah.
Si Dansky.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Dansky. Teka, di ba 4 yung questions natin, direct?
Yeah, 4.
Oo, 4. So one more. Gusto ko manalo si Romilet eh.
Dalawa na lang.
Si Romilet manalo. Kasi nanalo na si Rhonda.
So let's find out kung sino sa kanila kasi dalawa na lang natitira.
Ayan.
Okay, so let's do the
pero matibay, di ba? Ang tutla. Ayan! Romilet, you win! Ayan, meron kang 100 kilos. Nakakatuwa naman. Congratulations to the
Oh my God, sabi ni Miss Rhonda, I'll give my load to... sino ba nanalo? Si Miss Romilet pala, di ba?
Si Romilet nanalo, tsaka si Rhonda. At tsaka si Dansky.
Sabi ni Miss Rhonda, she will just give the load to Sam. Wow, ang bait naman.
Ay, oh nice. Donated to Sam.
Sam, oo.
Oh, ayan, Sam. Donated to Sam. Thank you so much.
And then, to Mai. Who's Mai? Mm-hmm.
I'll give to Mai. So, okay.
Mai. Yeah. Ang bayad naman nila. Oo.
Give to Mai.
Oo.
Okay, so Mai, you have to give us your mobile number. Hindi yung mobile mo, ha? Yung mobile number lang. Okay.
Ayan, thank you na sabi ni Sam. Si Sam is from Mindoro. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Ayan. Maraming salamat, Miss Rhonda. Ayan, Sam, Sam, panalo ka na. Okay. You know what, Anna, and thank you daw, sabi ni, Sam. Anna and Hanilor, Dear Mamou is here to give inspiration, hope, and to increase the faith of our viewers, and then dinagdagan natin ng love, because if there are any one of our viewers who would like us to feature their love life, pag minsan kasi may mga fans na nakakausap ko, Mamou, feature mo naman yung mga love life. Sabi ko, pwede naman, huwag lang yung love life ko. Love life nyo. Yung wag yung akin. Pwede. Basta, okay. Mga kamamo, mga kaganap, please send your letters to dearmamouv@gmail.com. You want your love life to be featured here? Magkaroon tayo ng administration? Surely, just send me your love story, and then we will have another guest to minister to you. Pero mas maganda siguro kung happy yung ending ng love story. Ngayon, kung medyo question mark naman at you want some advices, pwedeng-pwede rin. Ayan, si Miss Anna, pwede nating i-guest ulit para magbigay ng mga advices. Si Hanilor, bata ka pa, Hanilor, may boyfriend ka na? Sabay tanong.
Yeah.
Sabay tanong, may boyfriend ka na ba, Hanilor?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
It's more than a year now.
Okay. You're 18, so you're fine. You're approved. Okay, si Mamou dyan. Nangialam, di ba? Nangialam lang si Mamou. Now, before we end, I normally would give out verses before the end of the show. Our verse for tonight is kind of a little bit long, but a lot of people will really need it. Okay, what's our verse for tonight? It's in Psalm 135. It's actually very long, 13 to 21, so I just shortened it. Trust in the Lord. Trust in the Lord. When your prayers don't seem to be answered, you may be tempted to stop trusting the Lord and start chasing other gods. All right, don't do that. Trusting in the Lord may seem a little old-fashioned, but the psalmist says, God, your name is eternal. God, you'll never be out of date. That's in verse 13. Remain totally dependent on God and look for Him to vindicate you, especially during difficult situations. When things aren't working out as you wish, be patient. Ayan. Yan yung waiting on the Lord. Stop trying to move ahead of God. Especially kung nagpipray ka. When you're praying to God, don't move ahead of Him. His timing is perfect. So trust in the Lord. Lord, okay, can we pray, all of us, before we wind up, before we end this show? Lord, I trust in you alone. Help me become like you, full of love, joy, and peace. And Lord, thank you for Anna, for the life of Anna, for being such a blessing in this show, and to all those who are watching us, our viewers, not just here in the Philippines, but globally. Thank you for her life, Lord, for she is such an inspiration, and she is a blessing already to many. May you continue to make her a blessing to many, many more. And thank you for Hannah, for waking early and be our letter sender. Thank you for this beautiful, brilliant young lady, Lord. May you bless both of them, si Anna and Honey, Lord. May you prosper them, Lord. And thank you for Direct Bench and John Guarnes. May you, Lord, we submit this show to you, dear Mamou. Thank you that you will enlarge our territories. We put your hands over us, Father. Deliver us, Lord, from the schemes of the enemies. And Lord, let us cause no pain to the others. In the name of Jesus, and everyone says, Amen. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Mga Mamou, maraming salamat sa inyo. Maraming salamat, Anna and Hannah, and we hope to see you soon. God bless you. Hanggang dito na lang, si Dear Mamou. We will see you again next Sunday again. Mwah. Bye.